I'm the Spirit Keeper, and I give you a reason for every season. And we have just gotten Wave 2 of the Spirit Halloween 2025 animatronic lineup revealed. Yes, you have heard me correctly. We have just gotten even more Spirit Halloween 2025 animatronics. Back on July 2nd, we got our first animatronic wave, and now 12 days later, on July 14th, we have 4 brand new animatronics to discuss. With this only being our second train stop, we can definitely expect more animatronics in the near future, but without wasting any more time, let's dive into these 4 brand new animatronics. Kicking off today's video, we have the 5-foot-tall Backbend Bonnie animatronic, and while we all expected this to be a Broken Spine Girl animatronic, including myself, this is not a reskin of Broken Spine Girl, as this actually slowly backbends compared to that fast jump scare. And I personally do like this slow backbend better than the jump scare because I think it's just way more menacing and creepy as she just slowly backbends and looks at you. I do think that the jump scare is also great animation, but for the Backbend Bonnie, I do think that this slow animation of her backbending really fits the animatronic. Another reason why I like her slow backbend in animation is because you can get a great look at that tremendous face sculpt. Backbend Bonnie is sort of a mix of a vampire and a human, and you can definitely tell by her face, as you can see her really sharp fangs for teeth, and then I also love her cuts on there. It's just a really classic Spirit vibe, and I think that this is such a well executed prop. One thing that isn't shown in her stock photos, but is known, is that she does have posable arms, so you can actually pose her arms however you would like, and that is such a great added detail, as you don't have to keep her arms in that down position. You can actually choose however you want those arms to be posed, which is such a great added detail, and I just wanted to throw that in. As for her clothes, she has this red velvety dress, and it looks like a really nice material. Now, obviously, I don't have it right in front of me, so I can't actually tell, but by the looks of it, it looks like a really high-quality costume, and I also really like the full-on red color. I think it's a really nice shade of red. And another small, but definitely a cool added detail is that she does have some black ruffles sort of at the bottom, outlining her dress. Overall, I think that this is a great animatronic, and I love the overall appearance of Backbend Bonnie. I also want to really talk about her audio, as she does have some bone cracking and screaming sounds, and I think that this is so fitting for this animatronic, and I'm really happy that she doesn't have phrases. I think that the bone cracking especially fits her animation, as she's literally backbending, and I really love the screaming. I think that this audio choice is just so great overall, and that's definitely one of the main reasons why she's such a great animatronic. Finally, Backbend Bonnie is being retailed for only $179.99, which is a phenomenal price, especially considering you're getting a life-size prop, an awesome animation, and just a really classic Spirit Halloween animatronic. You really can't go wrong with this price of $180 at all.
No more clowning around. It's time for monkey business!
After that is going to be my boy Monkey Business, and now I'm not completely sure on how I feel about this animatronic. I do think that it definitely looks really cool, but I'm not completely sure why he's a clown. I do think that it would have been even cooler with any other character, but I'm not completely sure why he's a clown. But besides that point, I do really love the box that he's holding. You can see that it almost looks like a present, like a wrap present, as you can see the sort of wrapping paper and ribbons almost, but then that monkey pops out of nowhere, and it's actually a really fast jump scare. It's not like he slowly pops up, but this is just a really awesome jump scare, and I really love how the monkey head looks. You can see his really sharp teeth, and it does seem to be that he has some red LED eyes, which is so awesome. I do think that the monkey might be the best part about this animatronic, in my opinion. I do think that the sculpt on the monkey is just amazing. And another thing about the box is I really like the sign that says "Just for You" with that little smiley face. I do think that that's definitely a cool added detail. Now, I do really like the color scheme on Monkey Business, as we don't really get any black and white clowns anymore, and I do think that this color scheme is very fitting. Even his face is black and white. It's just an overall great color scheme. You can see his clothes. It has mostly white, but they're very dirty, so sort of almost like a gray. I just really love how the clothes look and the overall color scheme. I think that black and white is definitely a great color scheme, especially for a clown animatronic. Diving deeper into Monkey Business's head, I will mention that his head is made of latex, so it will dry rot over time, which definitely isn't a good thing, but we will have to deal with that. But I do really like that black face paint that he does have around his eyes and his mouth, and I also really love how the eyes actually look. I think they look really great for a clown. Another thing I'm really happy about on this specific animatronic is that he doesn't have LEDs in the eyes. I think that that's really awesome, because typically on every clown they do have LEDs, but I think with Monkey Business not having LEDs, that's definitely a great added feature. I also really love his red nose, but his hair is the thing I don't like. It looks like he's Lord Farquaad or something. I don't really know where his barber went or what he was doing when he got a haircut, but I do think that that hat he does have definitely makes up for it. Another flaw I have with Monkey Business is his phrases. Now, typically clowns do have cheesy phrases, but with this one they're just absolutely cheesy all over the place. It's not even slightly serious, as one of his phrases says, "Monkey see, monkey chew." Like, what is that phrase? I get it, monkey see, monkey do, but like, monkey chew, why are we saying this? I just don't like the phrases on this guy, and that's definitely a big flaw for me, and that's definitely one of the reasons why it's driving me away from getting this animatronic. But there is another reason why I don't want this animatronic, because he is $330. Now, that's extremely expensive. I would have liked the price of around $280, but I do think $330 is just absolutely insane, especially for this animatronic, as you're getting Lord Farquaad holding a box with a monkey in it. I just really don't get it. But he does stand 6 feet, 6 inches tall, so he is definitely a prop on the taller side, so at least he isn't short.
You're trespassing on hallowed ground. Not everyone who does gets to live to tell about it.
After that, it's going to be Sinister Strawman, which is another Mr. Dark reskin, with this being our third Mr. Dark reskin and our fourth animatronic using the same mechanism. And I do think that this one is probably the best reskin out of them all, but I do think that Mr. Dark is still on top for the animatronics that use this mech. But I do really like how Sinister Strawman looks. I really like his red clothing, as I do think that's really fitting for a scarecrow. And I think that dark red and then that tan definitely blend together really well for a scarecrow animatronic. Now, I will mention that there is many differences between the prototype in the demo video compared to the release model in the regular stock photos, and I do personally prefer the prototype model over the release model, as I do really like its hat more, because it does seem to be leather and it just looks better in my personal opinion. And I also like the face better on the prototype. I really like how you can sort of see how his mouth is almost stitched in a way, and I really like that his yellow LED eyes are brighter. But on the release model, you can see that his face does actually seem to be very small. However, you do have those stitching still, which I do really like. And then his hat is a triangle compared to a cylinder. So, slight differences, but for me personally, I do like the prototype just a bit better. Another thing that I don't like about Sinister Strawman are his phrases. Now, some of the phrases are good, and the one in his demo is just really bad, and I really don't like his phrases. And another thing, he talks before he jumps, so it sort of wastes time. I would have liked him to just jump right away before talking, and then he just talks as he resets, because his reset time is so long. So I'm not completely sure why they did choose that, but that's another thing that I don't like about Sinister Strawman. Another thing that I find very shocking is that Sinister Strawman is one of the tallest Mr. Dark reskins, as he stands 9 feet 5 inches tall at his maximum height with that jump scare, which his hat is definitely the reason why he's so tall. But Mr. Dark only jumped up to 8 feet 8 inches. And I do think that 9 feet 5 inches is such a huge height difference, and I really like that Strawman does jump up way higher than Mr. Dark. I've also heard some haunters in the community discussing that Sinister Strawman appears to be slower than the other reskins and Mr. Dark himself. But I do think that that's just because of the prototype model, as you can clearly see many differences. So I do think that they will update that mechanism, and it will be faster in real life compared to how it does look in the demo. So if you're debating whether to buy it or not because it looks slower, I do recommend buying it because it will definitely be faster in real life. Sinister Strawman is being retailed for $329.99, and while I do think this is a lot, he does jump up taller than any other Mr. Dark animatronic, and also he's the same price as Tower and Tallulah. And with that being that he does have some added height to him, I do think that $330 is definitely fair, and that awesome scissor mechanism is a really high quality mechanism, as I can't say so myself because I do have Mr. Dark, and that thing has lasted all the way since 2021, so it's definitely a good mechanism.
Do you hear that sound? That's the grinding of my bones coming to tuck you in while you're sleeping. Sweet screams!
Finally, rounding out today's video, we have the 5'8" tall Twisted Grandma animatronic, and there are a lot of mixed opinions on this. Some people love it and some people hate it, and I'm kind of in the middle. I do think that this is a mid animatronic. It's not great, but it's not terrible. However, I do really like her animation, as it's very unique, where she spins 180 degrees around, and basically what she does is her head slowly twists 180 degrees, but then after that, her whole torso literally jolts at you and twists around very fastly for that awesome jump scare. And I do think that it's definitely a very unique jump scare and definitely a really awesome one. Twisted Grandma has a skin tone of a green and a pale like mixed together. I'm not completely sure why they chose those colors, and it doesn't really look too well. Another thing I don't like is her mouth. She does have a puppet mouth, which I don't know why we're still using puppet mouths in 2025. I do think that she should have just had a regular moving mouth that looked a lot more realistic, but the puppet mouth was just not the way to go with Twisted Grandma. Another thing that really kills this animatronic are its phrases. It just has really cheesy phrases, and they definitely aren't the greatest, and I do think that they definitely could have been a lot better, but this is definitely something that brings down this animatronic for me. Twisted Grandma is being retailed for $229.99, and I do think that that is a bit pricey, but she does have a cool jump scare. Well, that's going to be it for Wave 2 of the Spirit Halloween 2025 animatronic lineup, and let me know down in the comments below which animatronic is your favorite from Wave 2, but anyway, make sure you remember that I'm a Spirit Keeper, and I give you a reason for every season. Bye.